Let's talk about 18 to 55 lens for Fuji. This lens covers 90% of focal lengths I would use for my everyday shoots. And as it's not my money-making camera, just my everyday carry camera, I don't really need to spend too much money on other lenses. What is good about this lens, you have built-in image stabilization and you can turn it on and off with this button over here. I'm not sure if it will focus. Oh yeah, you can see it here. Or also you can change aperture if you want to have it automatic or you wanted to do it yourself. Here you have the aperture ring. Then here you have like zoom ring and here is the focus ring. And yeah, that's for me is very important that I have all the rings on the lens because I like to change everything manually and not necessarily with the dials. And also in that case, I'm pretty old school. But yeah, my first camera, one of the first cameras was old Nikon F70. Let's talk about sharpness. I don't know how this lens behaves on the higher megapixels camera, but for me, the sharpness in this camera is good enough on this 16 megapixel camera that I own. Yeah, I don't like too sharp images, and sometimes I use this mist filters, as you see, just to make it even softer. I mean, these days, all the lenses are so sharp and clinical that I feel like the images we produce, they lose a little bit of soul in them. You don't have these imperfections that you had with the vintage look. And I'm a big fan of it. Then I just don't want to own too sharp lenses. What else I can say about this lens? The autofocus, well, it's not the fastest autofocus on the planet, but I'm not sure if it's the lens fault or is the camera fault. That I can't tell because this combo, it's not really sport photography combo. It is okay for like your everyday life, but if I have some fast-paced action, I wouldn't use it. It just doesn't work too well in that regards. But for anything else like landscape, you can cover everything with it. You can easily shoot with this street photography. You can shoot with it landscape photography, even portrait photography. Then basically you cover a lot of types of photography with this small lens. If 4.0 is for me a big deal on the 55mm focal length. As I said, for if I want to have nice bokeh and if I want to have like blurry background, I still have my own Sony cameras and I have my Batis lenses and things like that. Then I don't really bother that much about it. But if it's your own lens and you are going into the portraiture mainly photography, then maybe I would get some nice manual lens, just extra and converter that you can shoot really cool pictures with Fuji system. Then because portraits are not fast-paced photography, then you can actually focus manually and get really good results without overspending. Then in overall, my opinion, this lens is very worth investment as the first lens. It doesn't cost that much and it covers everything you will need at the start. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review and I see you next week.